take so much of your time so that we are able to go through what we are to do today. I've had the discussions on the mentorship, and I think that is quite encouraging. And it's quite encouraging that some of you already have mentors. For those who haven't had any mentor, I would request that please get a mentor, somebody you look up to, somebody you'd want to be like, somebody who can challenge you, somebody who can inspire you, and somebody who can also give you pressure to be the best part of you. So I think that's my contribution on the mentorship session you've just had. On the self-awareness, I was invited to give a presentation on self-awareness, and we are going to look at what is self-awareness. Basically, what is it? When we say somebody is self-aware, what do we mean? Then we look at the factors that contribute to you being self-aware or being otherwise. And then we are going to look at what is the importance of being, what is the impact of being self-aware or lack of it thereof. So when we look at self-awareness, I think the screen is shared. I hope everyone can see the screen. Self-awareness is basically conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. Knowing your character. Who are you? Are you an obedient person? Are you a kind person? Are you an arrogant person? Are you a happy person? Are you hardworking? Are you a lazy person? Knowing your character and the feelings that you are having at that particular moment. And what is being portrayed there is, in self-awareness, we have values that will contribute to who you are, the things you hold dear to your heart, the things you'd want to associate to, and we have feelings. How do you feel at any particular moment? Are you aware about it? And if you are aware, how is it affecting you? And therefore, how can you control it? In the diagram, we can see that the more you get to know your emotions, you get to know your thoughts, and you more to control your behavior, then we say you are a person who is more self-awareness. But the more you don't know how those things affect you, how your values affect who you are, then now you are having a problem. Then when we move to key areas to focus on that will contribute to your self-awareness, to be able to be self-aware, you need to know your personality trait. Who are you as a person? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you a dominant person? Are you a calm person? And how does your personality affect you? Understanding your personality will help you find situations in which you will thrive. For instance, if you are an introvert, you'll find a role in a sales position quite challenging for you. If you are an extrovert, that would be a role you'd grab by all means. So knowing who you are will help you to really get yourself, you apply yourself better and realize your full potential. Just by determining I'm an introvert, I'm a dominant person. If you are a dominant person, it means most of the time you'll want to be in the leadership position. You want to be the person making the decisions, but does it mean that all the decisions you make are the best? Because as a leader, you need to be a team player. How does your personality as a dominant person affect you in the leadership position? Once you understand that and you are self-aware of your personality, then you'll be able now to allow other people to lead. You'll be able to listen to other people because you realize this is something you need, and therefore you can allow other people to also influence you. When we look at your values, what are your personal values as a person? What are the things you will really be interested in? Personal values are the things that are important to us. That's the definition of personal values, things that are important to us, the characteristics and behaviors that motivate us and guide our decisions. How do you make your decisions? When a friend invites you, let's go for a drink, how do you say yes or how do you say no? Is it because you are a guy who likes to adventure, therefore you would want to know which is this best restaurant that you're going to have the drink, which kind of drink is new in town? You are an adventurous person. If somebody tells you, let's do this, what are the values that really matter to you? Is it about being kind? Is it kindness? Is it honesty? Is it hard work? Is it achievement? Is it courage? Is it creativity, determination, dependability, friendship? What values really matter to you? And once you understand your values as a person, then you are able to understand yourself. Such that if you are a person who likes being honest, and a friend of yours comes and tells you, let's go and cheat in an exam, let's go and maybe withdraw someone's money from an M-Pesa because you managed to get their PIN, and that value of honesty is important to you, you are able to tell the friend, no, I can't do that. I value honesty. I need to be truthful to myself. And therefore your values, once you understand what are the things you hold dear to your heart, and therefore you'll be able to follow them. Apart from the values, things that you need to understand so that you are well self-aware are your habits. Habits are the behaviors that we repeat routinely and often. Somebody once said that if you want to change your life, you need to change your habits. What are your habits? Most of the time we say, I want to lose weight. But most of the time you find all of us moving to fast foods. We are always at the bakery shops, buying a lot of junk food, but now you want to lose weight. It means you want to change, you want to adopt a new habit, but you are not losing the old habit. Therefore, for you to adopt a new habit, you need to change your ways. So in habits, we could have things like you want to live a better life, you want to save more money, what do? Meaning now you'll maybe need to create a budget such that you shop as per your budget. You want to meet friends who can influence you. You have to develop better friends. You need to determine what is a better friend to you, and therefore make a habit of meeting better friends and just leaving out the bad friends that you feel are not good for you, that are not aligning to your values, that are not aligning to your goals in life, are not aligning to your habits, the habits you'd want to develop. And therefore, in the habits, we look at, you want to eat healthy, what are you doing about it? Are you visiting the junk store, or are you buying good foods? You want to be helping others. How do? You want to get fit, then you need to enroll into a fitness regime that you are able to exercise. You want to quit smoking. You want to quit drinking. How do you do it? These are your routine. You have to change the things you do every day, such that you develop the new habits that you need. Apart from habits, another thing that will really influence that will really affect our self-awareness, and we're able to say that we are self-aware, are our needs. And mostly they come in the category of psychological needs. And the psychological needs are the things that now you will dictate, are you self-aware? What do you do? And when we look at needs, you look at, from the Maslow and the scholars have identified a variety of psychological needs that drive our behavior. Such needs are, we are in need for esteem, we are in need for affection, we are in need for belonging, and we need achievement, self-actualization, power, and control. What are your needs? And once you understand your needs, how do you go about meeting them? For instance, if you are in need of esteem, do you then look for friends who will always be patting you on the back, even when you are doing a wrong thing? Is that the way you get the esteem? If you are in need of the esteem, do you then change the things you do, become a kind person, become a hardworking person, do things that will build your esteem from inside? What are the needs that you are having as a person? You are in need of belonging. How do you meet that need? Once you realize, you become aware that now I'm in need, I need to belong, I need to have a community around me. How do you go about developing that community? Do you then recruit? And this will be affected again by your values. If you value honesty, then your community cannot be built around people who are dishonest. If you value hard work, then your community cannot be built around lazy people. So your values all these things will work together to ensure that the way you are meeting your needs are aligned to your values. The way you are meeting your needs, your values will be aligned to your habits. And therefore, at the end of the day, you are a person who is more self-aware. You are a person who is more emotionally aware of your surroundings, and you are able to function better as an individual. When we look at the next one is now emotions. Emotional self-awareness is quite important because understanding your own feelings, you need to understand your own feelings. You need to know what causes them and how they impact your thoughts and your actions. In the recent past, you've seen how if you are not emotionally self-aware, what can happen? When you realize you are getting angry, for instance, what makes you to be angry? What are your triggers? And therefore, how do you go about it? Once I realize my value is that I'm a hardworking person. And one of the emotional triggers for my anger, for instance, is that if somebody said, I'm lazy, that will really trigger me. Once you know that is your emotional trigger, how do you go around it such that you don't affect other people? In the recent past, we've seen in Kenya how this being emotionally aware, being self-aware has affected so many people, and especially the ladies in this matter, because we don't know what we are looking for. We don't know our values. If you are a lady who values being integrity, you value your morality, you value your intelligence, you value your peace, you'll find that most of the time you'll protect yourself from situations that expose you to losing your integrity, situations that expose you to losing your peace. And most of the time we know that for women, generally in this generation, my high school principal once told me that for a woman, you want to work twice as hard as a man to be considered just half as good. And of late, that statement makes a lot of sense because you realize as a woman, even when you get killed in a domestic scenario, you get killed in a love gone sour affair. Most of the time we question, what was she doing in that house? Why did she go for the tea when she was not willing to go the full end of it? And that just comes to, are ladies self-aware? Are they self-aware of themselves? Do you really know yourself? Do you know your values? Do you know what you stand for? Do you know your needs? And once you know them, how best can you meet them such that you don't hurt yourself, you don't hurt others in the process, and you preserve your personality, you preserve your integrity. When people mention and they're talking about this is Faridah, they have something to say about you. They'll be able to have that character because character is a habit that you've performed over a period of time. And therefore, they're able to say, if you're talking about Faridah, then that is a honest person. They have seen over the past interactions they have had with you, you've displayed that honesty, the value of honesty. You've displayed the value of time consciousness. They are able to identify you as that. When you come to emotional awareness, how are you feeling at that moment? This is affecting the youth, and it is something we need to talk about and find out how best can we manage our emotions. First of all, we need to understand how are you feeling at that moment? And think of once you feel the way you feel, what is causing you to feel that way? How do you manage it? Because you can feel annoyed, but taking a knife and stabbing your friend is not a solution to managing your anger, your feeling of anger. How do you manage it? And that comes to self-awareness. You will say, okay, I've always realized when I get in a heated argument and we are falling out with my boyfriend, I need to take time off. You walk away. Take that you give yourself time to cool off. You are able to think rationally, and therefore you are able to make good decisions. But if you don't know yourself, you will feel angry, and the next minute you are carrying a knife, stabbing the other. Not knowing the other person is also so annoyed, and you end up being killed in the process. So it is important that we understand who we are, and therefore influence, and who we are will influence how we interact with our friends, will influence who are the kind of friends we interact with in the first place. Because once I know, I'm a hardworking person, I'm a person of integrity, I'm a person who I want to be dependable. Most of the time, I'll choose friends who share the same value system with me. I'll choose friends who can make me a better person. And that is why when I had the discussion on mentorship, even when you're choosing your mentor, it will depend on, do you understand yourself enough such that when you go choosing for a mentor, you'll be looking for, what do you want in this person? Is it the career growth? Is it the professional growth? Is it the social growth you are looking for? And therefore you are able to choose the kind of mentor that will meet your need at that particular moment. But if you are not self-aware, this is why you find most of the time a lady recruited a mentor and the mentor has become a sponsor. Most of the time they are discussing bed issues instead of discussing how the career can grow, how the profession can get better. They are in the bed discussing their issues. So and that happens because you had no idea what you wanted and you are not self-aware. You don't know what are your needs. And once you become self-aware, you are able to exercise delayed gratification because you'll realize I need to be a successful person. And success, there is no lift to success. In success, you need to take the staircase. It is one step at a time. It is one day at a time. It is one achievement at a time. Then you get to that success. But when you don't understand that if you need that, your value, what you value is success. How do you go about it? Getting that success. Do you go very fast? You have a sponsor who can get you a job in a good company and you sleep with them, you lose your integrity. Do you then go ahead, recruit a mentor who will abuse you and you lose your integrity because you are looking for success, but you don't want to have delayed gratification? And this happens because you are not self-aware. So when you look at the importance, how important is self-awareness? Self-awareness will help you in skill development, especially when you look at your personality, the one we discussed earlier on. Once you realize you are a dominant person, you'll need to realize what are your gaps? What are your gaps, that the skill gaps that you have, and how can you then improve on them? And because you are self-aware, you'll be able to choose courses. You'll be able to enroll in courses that will meet that your need. And therefore you'll be able to become a better person, become a better you, and become a better lady in the society. And you are able also to know your strengths and weaknesses. Because if I know myself, I'm an introvert, I know I cannot be engaged in places where they need a lot of talking. Therefore, you are able to choose roles that fit best to your personality, roles that align to your value system, roles that align to your needs at that particular moment. And therefore, you are able to tell, this is where I need to adjust, this is where I cannot adjust, and therefore I need to leave it up for someone else. It will also help you to develop intuitive decision-making process. Most of the time we joke that the women, they always have the sixth sense. But in the current happenings, you realize the women, they are losing their sixth sense. And it's because they are not self-aware. Because with your sixth sense, the intuition, you are able to listen to your gut feeling. And if your gut feeling tells you, Kelly, don't go to that hotel, you are able to listen to yourself and tell yourself, I'm not going. I may not know the reason why, but something in me is telling me it is not right. But because we are not self-aware, most of the time we don't listen to our gut feelings and we get ourselves into problems. So it will help you to develop a lot of intuition, decision-making skills, and you are able to listen to your senses. There are times you could go to a building and you just feel you are afraid. You are in a lift and you feel you are not comfortable. If you listen to that intuition, that gut feeling, maybe you could save yourself from being raped. Maybe you could save yourself from being kidnapped. But because we are not self-aware, we don't listen to our emotions, we don't listen to our needs, our values at every particular point, we find ourselves exposed to a lot of these issues. And therefore, it will help you also to reduce your stress level. Once you understand yourself, even if somebody says you are lazy, and you know, actually, I'm not lazy, I'm working on it. This is a habit I'm changing. It will reduce your stress levels. It will not affect you because you are able to say, I understand myself better, and I don't really measure up to what you say, but I know what I say about myself. and therefore you are able to defend yourself. You are able to protect yourself from a lot of pressure that will cause you stress at the end of the day. Also, when you become self-aware, you become motivated, because now you want to become a better person of you. You want to learn new skills. You want to approach new challenges, and therefore you are boosting. You are highly motivated, and you become a better person. And in self-awareness, if you are looking at being a leader, self-awareness will help you to become a better leader. It assists you in improving your leadership potential, because you are able to understand yourself, you are able to understand your surroundings, understand the team you'll be working with, and therefore at the end of the day, it means you are able to make better decisions, you are able to allow other people space to grow, and most importantly, you are able to bring out the best in the team. And that is all about leadership. Leadership is creating somebody who can who can take over the team just as you do. Therefore, with that, I think that is why it is important for us to be self-aware, especially as ladies. And in summary, self-aware is finding out who are you, how do you feel. You need to be here now. What are your heart desires? Do you feel complete? Are you safe from harm? What are your heart desires? Do you have the courage to seek the skills that you don't have? And do you have a plan on how do you want to seek them? Are you fully alive to the things that are happening around you, the things that are happening within you, and therefore you are able to control them, or you are able to allow them to happen in a way that they become beneficial to you and to the society? So I think with that, that is all I had for the topic. Thank you guys so much for your time. Again, I'm sorry for being late. Maybe we'll have some questions. If you have any, we could look at them.
Thank you very much, Faridah, for that insightful session. It has been very informative. Thank you for breaking down self-awareness to simple things like personalities, our habits, our needs, our values. This will be very helpful as we try and find trajectory in life. So you have mentioned the importance of self-awareness in leadership, and I understand that you're a leader at your place of work. So I just like you to break down how personally you being aware of yourself, you understanding your weaknesses, your strengths, understanding the environment, understanding the people you work with. How has that helped you smoothen your leadership? How has that helped you? How has it made it easier for you to make decisions for yourself and also to make decisions for the people that you work with in your workplace?
Okay. Do we take the questions, or do I answer as they come?
You can just answer as they come.
Okay. For me personally, I think I don't know whether it was mentioned. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession, and currently I'm head of operations for the company I work for. The company I work for, they deal in projects. We actually install incinerators, waste management, and we also deal in boilers, energy. We provide energy provision for use in factory and commercial use. So that's what I do in my daily life. As a leader in that space, I find myself interacting with salespeople who are extremely extroverted. I find myself interacting with salespeople. I have finance people who are 50% introverted. The finance people, they don't talk much. And the technical people also, they don't talk much. But I could put them in between being an introvert and just being calm people. They most of the time, they express themselves by what they do, the technical skills that they can showcase. So for me, before I became self-aware, I would find it so hard to interact with all these things. because the salespeople would always sell what I knew technical could not offer, but that would annoy me. But the day I learned that maybe this I could approach it another way, I hold meetings with salespeople before they go for the sales, sales exertions, such that we agree, this is what we are going to tell the customer. These are the timelines we are going to give the customer. And when it comes to negotiating about the delivery timelines and the payment period, we agree in advance that this is what we are going to do about it. And because I understood that, at that moment, I'm not able to counter the extroverted salespeople, but the decisions they make affect my work in that place. So I would hold meetings and agree with them in good time, and we agree this is what we are going to do. The same way I would agree with all these technical teams, all the teams I work with, the department. I hold sessions with them, and we agree on this is what we are doing. I give them a chance to express themselves, and we operate on open policy. Say how you feel about it. If you feel it did not go well, say this thing did not go well and that you could do it this way. So allowing people to express themselves freely and not taking it personal. And that is where now it comes to build knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Because I knew I'm strong in this, I'm weak in this. When somebody tells me that, for instance, Faridah, I don't like how that presentation on the solar system went, I don't feel bad about it. I say, okay, how would you want it to go? Would I learn? And therefore it gives me an opportunity to even build my skills, develop my skills. Most of the time I find myself interacting with board people, the board members, and the board members, they're very serious people. They just want to look at the bottom line. And the bottom line needs to make sense. And the bottom line here is, how much profit is the company making? Is the company sustainable? Are we able to pay our bills on time? And therefore, you find yourself that because you are self-aware, at times you may not hit that bottom line that they had set. But now you find, how do you explain it to them? And you know that you did your best. You worked to succeed, you worked to excel, and you are determined. And by that way, you are able to interact with everyone in that ecosystem, give them a chance to also express themselves. And at the end of the day, you find that it is easier to work when you understand fully you. So that is how I've used my self-awareness to help me develop at my workplace.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's important to note what she has mentioned on criticism. You know, criticism some people don't take it well. So if you read the article, they mentioned that criticism is also part of self-awareness, because what people tell you is actually what you are. That's external self-awareness. So when you take in other people's opinions, then you understand how you're making choices and how those choices are affecting them, which is very important in leadership. She has also mentioned the importance of understanding the personalities of her workmates, which also enables her to interact with them and to make choices with them and to come to agreement with them. I had also wanted you to mention a little bit on emotional intelligence. I understand that ladies can tend to be particularly when making decisions and making choices, whether it's concerning their workplace, whether it's concerning their personal life and their relationships. So please just mention a bit on how to tap on being more aware of ourselves and incorporating it with our emotions, and being more logical in how we make our choices rather than acting on our emotions, rather than acting on anger or acting on happiness, but looking at it in a more aware and logical manner. Farida.
Okay.
Yeah.
In emotional awareness, is just being aware of understanding how one feels. How are you feeling at that particular moment? And most of the time, I do ask myself the why question. Or the 10 to 10, the 10 year, the 10 rule. The why question is, why are you feeling annoyed? Like, for instance, I went to the office and I found my I found my technicians who are to report to site, and abruptly they have failed to report. Of course, I'll feel annoyed. Then I'll ask myself, why am I feeling annoyed? The next question, the answer will be, because the job I had scheduled will not be done. Then if the job is not done, what next? What other ventures do I have? Then I realize if the job is not done, maybe the client will not be happy, maybe my payment will be delayed, and it's a trickle down effect. So I ask myself the why question to a point of, I come up with the strategies on how I'm going to solve it. That is in my work problem. So I realize, okay, maybe let me give a call to the client and let him know we'll schedule the job for the following day. Or let me organize and see how, if it is a matter of the money is the delay in payment, I'll let the client know we are reporting tomorrow, and we organize if the payment will still be on, so that I'm able to rescue the situation and not just be annoyed and start quarreling with my technicians. You guys are doing nothing. You guys are not good enough. Because at that moment, if I act on that anger, I'm not solving the problem. The problem is still there, that the job was not executed. Therefore, how do you go about it? Acknowledge that you feel annoyed and let them know. And you tell them, okay, what you did has really made me disappointed and I feel bad about it. But how are we moving on from there? Then how do they impact the work? That is now what you need to understand. If I feel annoyed and I go to workplace and I quarrel with all the technicians, how is it impacting my day? My technicians will be withdrawn. They will not be able to do their work for that day. It means the work environment has become toxic. I'm not able to achieve maximum productivity from them. It means even when I call my clients, they are not able to get the best of me because emotionally I'm not stable at that moment. Therefore, once I realize how that my emotion is affecting me, I'm able to sit back and tell myself, this is how I'm going to deal with the situation. Turn it around to our social life. When you have emotional intelligence, most of the ladies of late, we like these free things, free gifts. Somebody invites you, let's go for tea, and this person is calling you once after 3 months, and you are overexcited over the moon, you are going for tea. But you ask yourself, why are you excited for going for that tea? Does it mean you can't make tea in your house? Does it mean you can't buy yourself a cup of tea? Why are you excited about that tea? Ask yourself that question. Is it because maybe you are going to have an exchange with this person, the conversations you are going to have are going to be enriching? Ask yourself why. Is it because you have an opportunity to have free food, free tea? Why do you feel excited when you are invited for something? And therefore, how will it impact you? Once you go for free tea, there's this book in 48 Laws of Power. The fourth law says there's nothing like free lunch. You always pay for it one way or the other. So if you are excited over the free tea, the free lunch that a friend has called you over, get to ask yourself, why are you excited? Do you look forward to having engaging and entertaining stories from this person? Stories that will build you? Do you look forward to spending his money or her money? And you've done even a budget in your head that you know I'm going to spend 3,000 from this person today, and that is where I'm excited. Most importantly, ask yourself, how will that emotion affect you? Because if you are going because you are going to exchange encouraging and insightful discussions with the person, at the end of the day, when you come, your knowledge base shall have grown. You shall have become a better person. That has really improved you as an individual. But if it is because you are going to have free tea and you are going to have free food on that day, ask yourself again, for how long do you want to be excited over free things? Why can't you be the one offering? And I've told you there's nothing like free food. You are always paying for it in one way or another. Therefore, you ask yourself a lot of questions. And this emotional intelligence, I think we need it a lot for the ladies. Even in the workplace, when you get to become emotionally intelligent, you are able to see things for what they are. You are able to separate the feeling from the logic and therefore reason with the logic. Why are you feeling that way? And how is it going to impact you? Therefore, for us women, I have a feeling that if we can be emotionally intelligent, 80% of our problems will be solved, because we'll be able to know why we are feeling happy, why we are feeling sad, and therefore, how is that sadness affecting us, even in our family lives. I don't know whether you guys have families or you are still young people in school. Even in your family life, how is it affecting you? How is it impacting on your life? And therefore, what decisions do you make that will make you a better person, that will align you to your values, will align you to your personality, and will make you a better person in all?
Right, thank you. Lastly, a very important part of self-awareness is understanding where you are in life, what you want in life, and where you want to be in the near future. So this basically rotates around your career life, your professional life, and your social life. And we've seen in social media, we've seen in the news, we've seen in blogs that ladies are currently falling into the man trap while trying to get to another level in life. You want to get to a point where you have everything in terms of money and material things, hence you seek it from men through sponsors. So I just, if you were to give a piece of advice to the ladies out there, just to understand how the logic of life works and where you are and the consequences of actions, what will you tell them?
Just as I have mentioned, success, there's no lift that you can carry yourself on and say you are taking a lift to success. Success involves work, and success involves hard work for that matter. And success wants delayed gratification. And if you want instant gratification, then I can assure you, you are not succeeding. You are failing in disguise. As much as the outside world would look at you as somebody who have succeeded, inwardly you know you are failing. And therefore, and life, you cannot jump through life. When you are born, you had to be carried. Then you started crawling. Then you walked. Then now you can run. Why do we as ladies feel that you should just leave college and be where your mother is sending you a pocket money of 5,000, and in college you are living in a hostel room of a bed sitter that you are sharing with either 4 or 5 of your colleagues? I don't know how you share it now. In my days, we used to share it 3 of us, so we were 4 in that bed sitter. And you feel that all of a sudden the following day you are able to buy, you should be buying Italian wigs, you should be able to flying in chartered planes to Dubai. I don't know. I don't understand that logic. And basically it points down to your needs. What are your psychological needs? Your need for esteem, your need for affirmation. You need to brag, you need to show off to your friends. But ask yourself, at the end of the day, how does it benefit you as a person? Because I can assure you, most of these ladies, at the end of the day, they feel so empty. They feel so devoid of themselves. And in the process, they are trying to figure out, who are they? They go back to the original question, who am I? And what is my life purpose? Your life purpose cannot be for making people feel bad on social media. And social media, most of these things we post on social media, we don't even own them. Some lady will go and take a picture in front of a Range Rover and will be posting it all over the place. And the fellow friends will be feeling very left out because now he's met a guy who has a range. It belongs to that guy. It doesn't belong to you. And therefore, be able to work. Hard work has never killed anyone. Walk through the steps. Take the staircase. Go each step at a time. Start your life from where to work. and be contented. Most of the time when I tell people to be contented on where they are, they always feel that I'm telling them not to be ambitious. No, be contented, but very ambitious. Such that tell yourself I'm improving every day. I've started from this job. I was a clerk, or now I'm administrator. Now I'm moving from administrator. I'm going to be a assistant manager. I'm going to be the program manager. I'm moving to be the director. I'm moving to be a partner. I'm moving to be an associate. I'm moving to be a partner. Then most probably you move to be the CEO. When you read the life of these successful people, none of them woke up one day and became a CEO. They moved through the process. So I would encourage our ladies, move through the process. And ladies, there's nothing as good as buying tea with your own money, that you can swipe your debit card, leave alone the credit card. You can swipe your debit card and order whatever food you want from Java. You guys love Java or KFC. And you can order that coffee with no shame and with no guilt, because you are not worried how much will the bill be? Where will I get the money to pay the bill? You swipe it because you know I'm going to spend 10,000 shillings today on myself, and I'm going to swipe my debit card. There's nothing as enlightening, as satisfying as just knowing that you are doing it on your own terms. Because most of the things, the way I had said, there's nothing like freelance. Anytime this man takes you out to make your hair, he expects you to pay in kind. And if you refuse to pay in kind, you die. You've had cases of ladies dying. Why are they dying? We could say the men are killing them, but I beg to differ. The men are not killing them. The ladies are killing themselves because they have chosen a life that they can't facilitate. They have chosen a life that they can't afford. The feminists will say, oh, the men are killing them. Oh, these ladies need to be given space. This lady, no. First of all, be self-aware. Know where you are going. Define that journey and follow it. When you don't know where you are going, that is when you get a man just lures you on social media. You met the man in 2 days. The third day, you are willing to book a hotel room with them. For what purpose? Is that your vision? Is that a decision from somebody who is self-aware? No. That is a decision from somebody who don't know who they are. They have identity crisis and they're suffering from it. So I would urge ladies, success is on a staircase. There is no lift to success, and there's nothing as satisfying as paying for your own cup of tea, even if it is for 50 shillings, just knowing this is the tea I bought and I'm taking it on my own terms. The waiter will not come on me and I'll not look worried that, oh, what will I pay the waiter with? So I would encourage ladies to work on yourself, understand where you are, be contented at that level, but work each day to become a better person, become a better achiever, become a better career woman. And we look forward to having more women presidents in this nation. We've started with Tanzania. You've seen what has happened to the US. You've seen the Kosovo president is a woman, 38 years old. What makes you feel for yourself you cannot be that president? But it starts from self-awareness, choosing values that are good for you, and making decisions that boost your values, decisions that support your value system, not decisions that are based on show, not decisions that are based on social media influence. Social media is there, and even the people who generated the social media, they are not part of that social media. Thank you, Kelly.
Okay, thank you very much. That was very insightful. So I'll welcome any questions from the audience. So if you have any questions, kindly raise your hand, then you'll be unmuted and speak, or you can type the question in the chat box.
Hello?
Well, yes. I don't see any questions in the chat box. Oh, Margaret's hand is up. Okay.
Yes, Margaret.
Yes, Margaret.
Margaret, you can unmute yourself and speak up.
Hello.
I can't hear Margaret.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Margaret.
I just have an input. First and foremost, I want to thank you so much for a very interesting and experiential session that personally has really touched me as a person. I wanted to thank you so much. I wanted to say this, that as self-awareness, when we discover who we are, I know people will be able to understand what kind of person I am, what I like, what I don't like, and what probably the limit that I can be able to perform, or the potential that I have in life. But now I find it a challenge. And I've been trying to think it very hard as the presenter was doing this, because when I'm self-aware, it means that I know what I'm capable to do. I know what I cannot do. Now, sometimes you'll find maybe you have a boss, you have your senior or your supervisor who does not give you that opportunity that you need to exploit your potential. And in that sense, then you find that your dream is shattered, your passion is also sat on. And I think that makes production go low, because I will not produce because I am not focused. Someone has not given me space to do what I like most. Maybe just because of I don't know, other added advantages. And it is really affecting us in terms of their organizational workload, because you feel that even if you do what you want to do, there's nobody who cares, nobody recognizes you, no one appreciates what you want to do. And I don't know what you can comment on the same.
Okay, thank you so much, Margaret, for your contribution.
Thanks.
And then on when you become self-aware, the way you've stated, you'll be able to discover who you are. People will be able to know who you are. And most importantly, you know your limits and your potential. And therefore, and if you are self-aware, it means you're also able to read the people around you. Self-awareness helps you even understand the people around you. So in such a situation in an organization, for me, I would suggest three ways of handling it. One, put yourself out there. In most of the time, the people who get noticed in an organization, it's because they go the extra mile. Like if they need reports, be the person who voluntarily writes those reports. If they want somebody to volunteer to be the person presenting the reports. Make sure all the tasks, the assignments you have, you've done. And even if you, and of course, most of the time you can't do all the tasks, discuss with your immediate boss. You assigned me this task. I'm not able to do it because of this and this and this. Can I get some help? Because you've understood your potential and your limits. Can you assist me in this way? Such that it's a conversation you are opening up with them. And when you ask people for help, most of the time, in my experience, I've seen that they are open and willing to offer that help. What happens is when you lock it up in your mind, and most of the time we suffer in organizations because of just the perception. You just perceive that this boss will not listen to me, but you've not approached them. And also when you approach them, be objective in your approach. And for recognition, I think we've done that. And also another option is just to walk away. Some workspaces are so toxic that once you understand yourself, you understand where you are going, your potential, and after doing all you think you are supposed to do, put your best foot forward, do the report, ask for assistance, do the presentation, volunteer. But when you realize all these things you've done, the workspace still does not recognize you, and it still doesn't give you that opportunity to be yourself, Living is an option. Living is not, when you leave a place, it's not interpreted as being weak. At times there is courage in leaving something behind. Just exit. Have an exit strategy such that you manage yourself out and you go. Because at the end of the day, the only person you cannot afford to lose is yourself. And if you're working in a toxic workspace, you are losing yourself. And you can't afford to lose that. So at times, I would advise, do your best, consult your boss, put your best foot forward. But when you realize nothing is working for you, have an exit strategy. Yeah.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam, because actually what we have talked tonight is directly affecting me. And I think in one way or another, I had to change the focus of my interest because I felt like there was no recognition. And then I said, now the best way to fight out is just to walk and change my focus. So what I'm doing right now is quite, yes.
Is it helping you? Because again, from what I've realized, like for me, I started from a mechanical engineering aspect. My first job, I was a technician actually, repairing pumps and machines in a pharmaceutical company. In my second job, I was supposed to become a project manager, supervisor, where I was supposed to supervise how boilers and incinerators are working. Incinerators basically machines for burning waste and boilers for generating steam. Something I had not done. But you look at these experiences you are having, adding up to your overall person, your overall career growth. Because when you talk of you want to be a manager, in the mentorship, I had the host talking about, you look at the CAS of the Ministry of Health. What courses did she take? Apart from just being a doctor by training, she had to do some management courses. She had to go out of her way and have some experiences. So you could also choose to just change the approach and look at it. Is this area that you're focusing on, is it contributing to the overall person you want to be in the future? Because for me, most of the time, I used to see myself, I want to become the CS for energy. And I'm working towards that, God helping me. And therefore, I realized I need to be able to understand projects, engineering, I need to understand it in and out. I need to understand management, how I'm going to manage the human personnel. I'm going to manage the resources. I'm going to manage my bosses. I'm going to manage the board. And therefore, all these experiences, they add up to the person I want to become in my goal, in my future. This is the person I want to be. So is this what you are doing now, contributing to the final Margaret, if I could say? Then you don't have to regret it. If it is contributing to the final Margaret, you don't have to regret it. You just have to see that you are collecting experiences here and there, and you don't even realize you need them until you reach that point where you are needing them. You're like, okay, this thing really helped me, because how would becoming a technician help you become head of operations? You'd question at that point, but it helps you because when somebody tells you they are repairing a motor, you understand exactly what they are doing in that motor, because you also started from being a technician. And you understand it will take you 2 hours or 3 hours. Therefore, when they come and tell you they need 6 hours to repair a motor, unless they are going to buy a new motor, you are able to tell them, no, you are replacing 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And I expect at most, this should take me 2 hours. I can give you an extra hour. So it makes your work easier because you have that experience, that first-hand experience from my view. Yeah. Hello?
Faridah,
Yes.
one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Faridah?
Now I'm hearing you. I wasn't. You can just recap on what you just said.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding well to that question. So I can see there are no other questions, so I would like us to wind up today's session. Thank you very much for joining us this evening in this very important discussion. Thank you for breaking down self-awareness to tiny bits that we can easily work with. Thank you for outlining the importance of self-awareness and how we can use it to do problem solving, to make choices, to find a trajectory in life, in our career and in our social life. So I hope the audience today has learned something and they will take away an important message from this session. So thank you. And I think that's it from my end. So have a wonderful night. Yes.
You're most welcome, Kelly. And thank you too for giving me this opportunity to talk to my fellow ladies. And ladies know that I wish you nothing but the best. When I look at that bill of the gender bill, I know when it comes to 2032, it will be the men pleading with the women of this country to sign that bill, because 2/3 will be the women in all the positions. And that is what I work for every day. And the 2/3 can only be women who are self-aware, women who are self-driven, and women who know where they are going. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hezron says this was a great presentation. Thank you. I think that's the only comment in the chat box. So I hope we'll have another interaction after this, and we are grateful.
Thank
so
you.
I welcome David to give any closing remarks that he has.
Who?
David.
Okay, David.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Faridah, for honoring our invitation and being part of this discussion. Your presentation has been eye-opening, and most importantly, it's been critical on some of the things that are affecting our society, things that we see every single day. But at the same time, we are not as bold enough and as open enough with each other and genuine to tell each other how things are and to make the right decision in terms of how we can address them. And I'm glad that you took the moment to share about some of the things that are affecting our ladies in the society. Well, it's ladies talk, and I'm glad that we have men. We had Hezron, I'm here. We have other men as well who are part of the discussion. And it's a sign that we are looking at working together and building an ecosystem. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for the contributions. And for the people who've been part of the discussion, this is the starting point. And it starts by us acknowledging the problems we have, taking the first step to understand them and see how we can respond to them. And we have knowledge on how to do that now. So the next step would be, how are you going to apply the knowledge and the insights that I gained from this discussion to be a better you? If we have a better Margaret, a better Kelly, a better Georgina, a better Olfa, then at the end of the day, we'll have a better team of members of the Ladies Talk Forum. Then moving forward in the next phase, we'll have a better forum of better people within the Kenyan ecosystem. That is what we aspire for. So thank you everyone for being part of the discussion. Engage with us in our different social media channels, that's Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube as well, Ryculture Health and Social Innovation, or at Ryculture Health. That is where we do most of the programs as well. We share the content that we have. Then finally, engage with us in subsequent sessions that are coming up. We have the Ladies Talk Forum, which was today, the second Wednesday of every month. On the fourth Wednesday of every month, we have the Man Talk session, which is where now we host the men, but it's open to anybody and everyone to share on different topics. And you're also free to share some topics on what you feel you'd want to hear us talk about, hear us get people to discuss as well. So that would be coming up then. Then the last weekend of every month, we have the health roundup sessions. For the health roundup, we discuss health matters and what they mean to you. And in that, we look at it from the perspective of, we have an investor, we have a healthcare practitioner, we have a patient, we have a patient advocacy group, we have an individual who is a member of the community who is at risk of facing any health challenges, who has someone who might be sick, who might need medication. How do we respond and how do we enable these people access healthcare services, and how do we ensure that the health system works for each and every one of us? So those are some of the key 3 programs that we normally have, and we're hoping we'll engage and we'll work towards making these a reality and making our society better. Asanteni sana, and poleni for taking much of your time this evening. We had challenges, but we've made it work because I see all of us have been engaged through the session and we've gained from it. So thank you so much. Have a good night. And thank you for the wonderful moderation, Kelly. We're glad to have you as a culture team. Asante.
You're welcome. Good night. Have a wonderful night.
You too.